Okay, it is time to install R and RStudio. R is the underlying app, and it is used in conjunction with RStudio. Remember, R provides the functionality that makes it probably the world's most relied upon and used increasingly statistics application. And RStudio is kind of an overlay that enhances ease of use and capabilities like an easy kind of a graphic user interface. It's a little more advanced than what comes with the standard R installation. To start, we go to Moodle and we select RStudio programming app, which will take you to a page that will give you the ability to download both R and RStudio. Remember, it can't be done all at once. You have to download both R and RStudio. Once you get to this R programming page from Moodle, you will see up there at the top, near the top, blued, as though they're live links, R and RStudio. So you will click on those, and you will first, if you choose RStudio first, it doesn't really matter which you chose first. You'll come to a page and you want to select RStudio Desktop, and it is free. When you've selected the R option, you have to go back, obviously. You will come to this page, and if you're running Windows, I think at this point you will have had a choice to choose between Windows or Mac. You will select that. As I say, both are available for Windows and Mac. They function the exact same way. They're both can be set up very quickly on both. You'll get different setup windows, obviously. If you're familiar with both formats, you know they have slightly different ways to do these things. There will be one or two obligatory agreements that you have to read, and agree to. When setting up, it asks you if you want to install all these components. I always think it's best if they've pre-selected things to choose that, even though it might take up more space. If you're sure you have a pretty advanced system, you might want to just choose 64-bit files plus the other things, core files and message translations. But in my case, I usually select both, especially if they give it to you as a default. Here's what happens if you happen to, once you go through both processes, you will have the option to choose RStudio or R. If you don't have R installed, but you have installed RStudio, you'll get a message asking you to locate your copy of R because RStudio is looking for R. So as I say, RStudio is kind of a shell that goes over R. But here's what happens if you're running, I think this might have been in Mac, but if you're running just R without RStudio, you will get this as a startup window. That little caret down at the bottom is where all the entering and coding starts. Here's what it looks like when you have RStudio. RStudio gives you, if you look down at the bottom right, there's an environment where your files are available, where plots that you've done are available, packages that you want to load, etc. are available. They will pre-select in terms of packages a number of those for you. So once you've got it installed, go and look at that under packages. There's help and other things. Now up at the top right is where you will ultimately import a data set when we get into a couple of our exercises. So take a look at that. Anyway, that's what that looks like, import data set. More functionality up at the top right. Remember, the working section of R is on the left of the RStudio desktop, and on the right are different options. So we will be using the import data set. So that's that. Where to learn more about R? Well, where you've probably seen some of these things before. down toward the bottom of the website. See if you can do a couple little simple exercises with R that are kind of laid out here. You can also Google things. Look on YouTube for simple R exercises or R practice exercises. It doesn't matter what it is at this point in time. Just do a couple little things just to get familiar with it. You will see that you don't save documents, you save sessions. And usually you don't even need to do that, because usually what happens is you take things you've done with R and copy it to Word documents, or you export things from R. So you really don't need to save R files in the typical sense that you probably know. Anyway, that's it. Who says I can't make a short video?